Leslie, so set the picture for me, the scene at the hospitals. What's it actually like right now?
Scene of the hospitals, it's you just don't know what you're going to get when you walk in. We've had days where we are overwhelmed with patients that are either COVID positive that are worsening at home, or you have patients that want to be tested for it. So our hospital is one of the first hospitals in Tucson that set up the tents where we could test people in their cars. They could drive through, get tested, and we were testing maybe 300, 400 a day. So it's very busy. It's very hectic. The equipment shortage is a thing. It's not to the point where we're out, or like New York where we're having issues with ventilators and stuff like that, but it's definitely a problem, and it's something that we are keeping a really close eye on, so that way we don't completely run out.
How taxing is it for you though? Because I would imagine I've seen all these interviews with people on television, nurses and doctors, and like you guys are in a lot of ways just regular everyday heroes normally, but because of this virus, there's a magnifying glass on what's happening. But my family's got a medical background. I can't get over just how difficult it is personally for a lot of the people at the hospitals to see this firsthand, even though the industry and the business, in a lot of ways, there is life and death that's on the line.
Yeah, I mean, and part of what I do, I'm also a trauma nurse, and so I do see life and death, and I do see these horrible accidents that happen to people. Never in my life did I think I would be part of a pandemic in this country, but I will say that the team of people that we have, I wouldn't want to be anywhere else, and I wouldn't want to be working with anyone else. And while it is scary sometimes to walk through those doors, there's nowhere I'd rather be. I have the opportunity to be a part of a team that's fighting this pandemic, and I'm proud of it. And I love my teammates. I love these doctors and nurses and paramedics that I get to work with every day, and we're all in the fight together. And I really do feel proud and scared at sometimes and sad at sometimes, but for the most part, this is what I'm supposed to be doing right now.
Leslie, on the flip side though, Matt's at home. You got the two kids there as well. What's it like when you leave the hospital and come home? How much concern is there that you're exposing, Matt and your kids and your family to something that's really scary?
Right. Yeah. I mean, it's definitely a concern, and it's been a number of conversations that him and I have had, and I'm about to gear up for a 3-day stretch at the hospital, and we just had a conversation, maybe I don't come home for these 3 days because I don't need to expose them any more than they already are. And while I'm really careful, I take extra clothes. The hospital has allowed us to now shower at work and change our clothes and do what's called a scrub exchange. So you can have yours taken, and they'll give you a set to go home with. I do the best I can to make sure that I don't bring germs home or bring them in my car, but you never know. And so luckily, we have the option for me to not come home since Matt is at home with the kids right now. So that's definitely something that we talk about, is whether or not I should come home on these days that I work.
I love the fact that you're rocking the U of A shirt. I saw Matt on the screen before. He had the Arizona shirt on as well. You had so much success as a player, and I'm curious because not every some people play individual sports. You thrived in a team sport.
Yes.
How much do you think your experience on campus as a successful college athlete has sort of set you up for what you're dealing with, not just with COVID-19, but just this job in general?
Yeah, huge. I say that all the time. My life as a student athlete completely prepared me for my life as a nurse, as far as teamwork goes, as working as a team, as sometimes you're a leader, sometimes you're a follower. And so especially working in the ER. So I love adrenaline. I love stressful situations and performing under pressure. And that was life as a student athlete. And that's honestly life working in the trauma bay or the emergency department. And I love it. I went from one amazing team with my softball sisters at the U of A to another team now with my Banner family. And it was a no-brainer that I knew I wanted to be a nurse. And it's definitely a no-brainer that I belong in the ER.
Leslie, I was looking at some of your numbers, statistically speaking, before this interview. I don't know how many stressful situations you actually had when you were pitching. I feel like you were pretty darn dominant. You didn't have to worry. And I'm in your relief appearances you even had as well, where you were inheriting runners in scoring position. But I felt like you handled business. You made sure that you weren't dealing with pressure.
I love it. No, I love it. I love the pressure situations. Give me all the adrenaline.
What's the community response been like? Because in the wake of a pandemic and these tragic moments, I think what's been really interesting for me as an outsider watching a lot of this coverage, adhering to social distancing and being at home in this shelter in place in San Francisco, I'm glued to the television and I see all these united moments where, neighbors are singing and music is playing and people are, the police are driving through with the sirens on to kind of support things. What's happening in your community?
Yeah, it's been crazy. So Tucson already is just kind of a small community and a college town, and they're very big on rallying around each other. So it's been incredible. The support from the community, we've had countless meals delivered to the hospital, donuts, supplies. People are dropping off just boxes of gloves or masks or things that we might need. And one of the coolest things that I think I've been a part of, besides the World Series in 2006, was there was a day this past week at the hospital where the Tucson Police Department and the Tucson Fire Department wanted to show their appreciation for us at the hospital, and they did a salute where they had countless numbers of police cars and fire trucks and ambulances, and they drove by the hospital, and they were lights and sirens, and they were on their speakers and just thanking us and waving at us, and it was one of the most moving things I think I've ever been part of. It was really cool.
Do you remember those emotions? I would imagine so overwhelming for you to
Yeah,
be in that moment.
it is so overwhelming, and because they're on the front line also. We're one big first responder family, the police and fire and paramedics, and so we're all in this together. So for them to thank us, it was amazing, and in a way we were thanking them back because we're all in it together, and it was really special and it was really cool, and it just goes to show that Tucson really is a good community, and we all do take care of each other, and the outpouring of support has been phenomenal.
I can't thank you enough for spending a couple minutes with us. I know
Yeah,
you're going to go through like a 3-day kind of long run now at the hospital for the next few. So I know for all of us here at the Pac-12 Network and everyone obviously in the Tucson community where you are serving, thank you so much. Really appreciate it. And most importantly, wash your hands. And I know you are, but stay
that's
healthy
right.
because we need you out there.
Yes, you too. Thank you. Stay home, stay healthy, and I hope we can get back on the Pac-12 network soon and get some games going again, and that'll be nice.